Story 1. Late one stormy night, I found myself alone in my quaint suburban home. As the wind howled outside, an unsettling silence settled upon the house. That's when I heard it, the faint sound of footsteps creeping through the darkness, barely audible yet unmistakable. Fear gripped my heart as I realized an intruder had breached the sanctity of my home. Panic set in, but I knew I had to remain calm and take action. I quietly retreated to a hidden corner, my heart pounding in my chest, as the intruder's presence grew nearer. I strained my ears, listening to the intruder's stealthy movements. The footsteps drew closer, and I held my breath, praying they would pass by without detection. But fate had other plans. With a chilling creak, the intruder opened a nearby door, invading my personal space. I could hear their slow, deliberate breaths as they navigated the house, their intentions shrouded in mystery. Every nerve in my body screamed for me to run, but I dared not make a sound. Time stood still as the intruder made their way through each room, searching for valuables or worse. Their footsteps echoed through the house, growing louder with each passing moment. I clutched my phone tightly, ready to dial for help, praying that I wouldn't be discovered. Eventually, as the night wore on, the intruder departed, leaving me in a state of shock and disbelief. The aftermath of that night was marked by fear, sleepless nights, and an unshakable sense of violation. The memory of the silent intruder serves as a constant reminder of the fragility of our sense of security, forever etched in the deepest recesses of my mind. Story 2. It was a typical evening, like any other, when I heard a knock at the front door. Puzzled, I approached cautiously, only to be greeted by the masked faces of three sinister individuals. Panic coursed through my veins as their presence indicated ill intent. In a matter of seconds, the men forced their way into my home, their masked visages concealing their true identities. My heart raced as I realized that my sanctuary had been transformed into a battleground, a fight for my safety and survival. They moved swiftly, methodically searching for valuables, their eyes gleaming with greed and malice. I hid, trembling, hoping that I would remain unnoticed. But their intentions became clear as they began to ransack the house, leaving destruction and chaos in their wake. The sound of shattered glass echoed through the halls as they systematically shattered my sense of security. My mind raced, seeking an escape, but every corner of my once familiar home seemed to trap me further within their clutches. Fear mingled with desperation as I contemplated my options. Should I confront the invaders? Or should I wait silently, praying for the arrival of law enforcement? Time slowed to a crawl, each second feeling like an eternity, as I weighed the risks and consequences of my choices. Suddenly, the sound of approaching sirens pierced the night, a beacon of hope in the face of terror. The masked men fled, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and shattered lives. The scars from that fateful night serve as a constant reminder that our homes, once our sanctuaries, can be invaded by darkness. Story 3. It was a moonless night, draped in an impenetrable darkness that seemed to swallow the world whole. The hushed whispers of the wind carried an eerie energy as I settled into my abode, unaware of the horrors that awaited me within those walls. As the clock struck midnight, a cacophony of shattering glass shattered the silence, jolting me from my slumber. Adrenaline coursed through my veins as I realized that my home was under attack. Panic consumed me, but I knew I had to gather my wits and confront the danger head-on. With trepidation, I made my way through the dimly lit hallways, guided only by the faint glow of the moon. Each step echoed with uncertainty, as if the very floor beneath me conspired against my safety. But I pressed on, determined to protect what was rightfully mine. As I turned the corner, I found myself face to face with a masked intruder, his eyes filled with malice and his intentions shrouded in darkness. Fear gripped me, but a surge of primal instinct propelled me into action. A battle ensued, a desperate struggle between life and death, as I fought to defend my home. The sounds of shattered furniture and the clash of bodies filled the air as I grappled with the intruder, each movement fueled by a primal need to survive. But darkness has a way of overpowering the light, and I found myself overpowered by the masked assailant. The moments that followed are a blur, a cacophony of pain, desperation, and the lingering taste of defeat. I awoke hours later, bruised and battered, but alive. The scars from that night serve as a constant reminder of the vulnerability of our homes and the indomitable spirit required to protect them. Story 4. It was a peaceful evening, like any other, when the unimaginable happened. As I lay in bed, the soft glow of moonlight filtering through my window, a sense of tranquility enveloped me. But little did I know that danger lurked just beyond the familiar walls of my home. In the dead of night, a rustling sound awakened me from my slumber. My heart raced, and a wave of unease washed over me as I realized that an intruder had invaded my sanctuary. Fear gripped me, but I summoned the courage to investigate. I crept through the darkened hallways, my senses heightened, searching for signs of the intruder's presence. Every creak of the floorboards sent chills down my spine, and each flicker of shadow played tricks on my mind. The intruder was cunning, remaining hidden from sight. Suddenly, a chilling realization struck me: I was not alone. A malevolent presence filled the air, an unseen entity that seemed to watch my every move. The atmosphere grew heavy, suffocating, as if an invisible hand clenched around my throat, making it difficult to breathe. I felt a chilling breeze brush against my skin, followed by whispers that danced on the edge of my consciousness. The intruder's intentions remained a mystery, their malevolence lingering in the air. Panic coursed through my veins, urging me to escape the clutches of the unseen. With a surge of adrenaline, I fled my home, seeking refuge and safety. The invisible intruder remained a haunting enigma, a reminder that danger can materialize from the darkest corners of our own existence. The memory of the unseen intruder serves as a constant reminder of the fragility of our sense of security. Story 5. It started as an ordinary night, like any other, when a series of fateful events unfolded. The air was thick with tension, and an eerie silence settled upon my home. It was a premonition, a foreboding sense that something sinister loomed just beyond the walls. Suddenly, without warning, the tranquility was shattered as masked figures burst through the door, their presence announcing an impending nightmare. Panic seized me, and I scrambled to find a place to hide, to protect myself from the impending threat. As I crouched in the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest, I listened to the invaders as they ransacked my home. The sounds of shattered glass and splintering wood echoed through the halls, a symphony of chaos and terror. The masked intruders were relentless, their intentions shrouded in darkness. I held my breath, praying that my hiding spot would remain undetected. But luck was not on my side that night. With a sickening realization, I saw their shadows creep closer, inch by inch, until they stood mere feet away from my hiding place. Time seemed to stand still as they closed in, their malevolent eyes burning into my soul. Fear consumed me, rendering me paralyzed as they tore away my sanctuary. The invasion of my home became an invasion of my mind, a nightmarish descent into the depths of terror. As they retreated into the night, leaving behind a wake of destruction and shattered dreams, I emerged from my hiding place, forever changed. The memory of the home invasion nightmare lingers, a constant reminder of the fragility of our safety and the darkness that can infiltrate even the most sacred spaces. Story 6. It was a night like any other, peaceful and serene. I nestled into my home, oblivious to the horrors that would soon unfold. But as the clock struck midnight, fate conspired against me, and my world was shattered in an instant. The sound of shattering glass reverberated through the silence, a chilling crescendo that heralded the arrival of the intruders. Panic surged within me as I realized that my home, my fortress, had been breached. I had become a victim of the darkest side of humanity. The intruders were ruthless, their intentions fueled by violence and chaos. They ransacked my home, tearing through every room, leaving destruction in their wake. Their faces concealed by masks, their identities hidden, they showed no mercy, no regard for the sanctity of my life. I hid in the darkest corner, trembling, as they methodically pillaged my belongings. Each passing second felt like an eternity, each creak of the floorboards a cruel reminder of their proximity. Fear consumed me, but a fierce determination to survive fueled my spirit. As they approached my hiding spot, their footsteps growing louder, I prepared myself for the worst. I braced for the moment when our paths would intersect, when my life would hang in the balance. But fate intervened, and they retreated, leaving me battered and broken, but alive.